RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right. Where's the button? Yikes. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you. Ed in the chat room. First up, best dressed, as my father used to say, because he had 8 brothers and sisters. All right, guys. Nice to see you. This is Tara, Unapologetic Liberal Talk. We get together sometimes during the week, but we have the Friday night show every Friday at 8:30-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So come and hang out and, join the greatest chat room in American history. We're going to hook up with Robyn today for our we've been doing the simulcasts on Wednesday, which I enjoy. I hope you guys like it too. And I want to, before we dive in, I just want to thank Charlie from APS Radio News for all of his support of the show and keeping the show going and growing. All your support of the community cats, it makes a difference. And I want to thank, I got a donation from Peter today. Peter Niles, thank you so much, Peter. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. So work it. You're worth it. And nice to see you, Haiku. Thank you, Haiku, for being in the chat room, being a moderator, keeping the chat room safe from trolls. We got a 0 troll policy. And, okay. And thank you, Josie. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. All right, let me just see what's going on. We have a lot to talk about. Yesterday I had a bad day. I was a little bit down in the dumps. I don't know how you've been handling what we're seeing. It's only 8 days, right? 8 days, has it? 9? How many days? I forgot how to count now. Yeah, it feels like a lifetime. I don't know. It's very depressing. All right, I'm just going to send Robyn a text. Ready? Oh, she didn't tell me which Skype. Just 2 Skype handles. And she's always telling me to use this one or that one. I don't know why. Handle, do you want me to call on? Yeah, I know. Thank you, Josie. Sending hugs. Yeah, you know what it was? I think I've been so not trapped. I don't know. What's the word? I've really been angry since the election. So last time, when Hillary won, despite receiving the most votes, lost despite receiving the most votes, I was sad. I got sad. That was my overarching feeling. I'm just going to shut off my phone. It's dinging off the hook. And so this time I just got enraged. I felt rage. And I think yesterday the sadness caught up with me because, sadness and rage are 2 sides of the same coin. I'm getting back to rage. I think it just hit me yesterday with everything going on. I am infuriated. And Haiku says, yeah, me too. Me too, Tara. Yep. It's been, it's not easy. It's really not easy. And it's infuriating. I just don't know how. I was on DC Report, or Deadline DC, excuse me, with Brad Bannon on Monday. And we were discussing, he's like, what do we do? What do we do? And I don't even know. I'm getting to the what do we do. What do we do is we do what we're doing. We have to speak out. And but other than that, at this time, we need the Democrats not only to speak up. I don't know if you've seen Schumer. It's absolutely pathetic. Him getting up there. This is outrageous. Completely lawless. Where's the passion? Where's the where's the action? Who cares about a strongly worded email? The Democrats did send Trump not an email, a message about, you said you would focus on this. You said you would focus on the price of eggs. You said you would. Yeah, you think Trump gives a shit about a letter coming from the Democrats? He's not even going to open it. How come how come when the Republicans are in the minority, they block every nominee? They were able to do what they do. One asshole could stop the promotions of all these military officers, right? But the Democrats are they're looking for ways to work with Trump. Where can we work with our dear leader, the lawless con man? What are you talking about? You got to protect the American people. You got to protect this country from this fascist that's implementing Project 2025. That's what we're witnessing, and we talked about it earlier, before the election, how it was going to be a blitzkrieg. This is part of the tactics that you just inundate, you flood the zone every day, a new 20 new offenses, and this government, because it's not built like this, it's not built to withstand someone who is so who's so above the law, outside the law, doesn't give a shit about the law. And the other thing, for example, what I named the show tonight is Trump while golfing. Trump throws the nation into chaos. Who the fuck is he to stop funding? This is what I don't understand. His email or his stupid executive orders don't supersede the Constitution. This should just immediately be used as to wipe your ass with, because a president can't say no more birthright citizenship. That's in the Constitution. I'm sorry. I might as well have written an executive order that said something. Everybody gets universal health care. That would be my executive order. Not targeting people, hurting people, making people, stressed out. And it's like, I'm just so sick of it. And the other, who is he to stop funding? He doesn't control the purse strings. It's completely unconstitutional. So why is it, who's going to stop him? Exactly. Ed, on the chat, everybody has to say, fuck you. Fuck you. If there's a fucking memo that comes saying, oh, no more funding, he's not, he didn't allegate I guess that's the word, the funding, right? He did, because that was funding. It's sort of like him using the money that the Congress, elected by the American people, voted to give Ukraine so they could fight their anti-democratic, their America-hating dictator on their border that Trump loves, Trump's pal Putin. It was like him using taxpayer funds as his own extortion funds. Those funds were already set aside or allocated for Ukraine. He can't do that. So it's like, when a memo comes out saying no more funding for Meals on Wheels or food stamps or Medicare, Medicaid, research, people should just fucking wipe their ass with it and move on, go about their business. But that's not what's happening. Everybody's like, well, I guess we got a king. I guess we have a king. We got to do what the dear leader says. Even in the corporate media, they've completely acquiesced. There's no standing up to any of these monsters who appear on their shows. The fire hose of lies. They just sit there. And that's the whole, what they're doing with the White House press corps. It's the same thing. It's just like releasing a memo from the White House. Where's the pushback? Where's the context? Where is the information that points out that he doesn't have the right to do this? Why isn't every headline that says, for example, oh, Trump ends birthright or signs an executive order to end birthright citizenship? Why doesn't it include Trump unconstitutional? I can't talk. Unconstitutionally and without his, without any power, writes a toothless memo ending birthright citizenship. I'm sorry, his fat little Sharpie pen doesn't supersede the Constitution. And last I looked, I don't know, but this is how democracies die, with people not doing people not standing up. I'm infuriated. Hold on, I'll get a flow of this. We don't need the music this on a Wednesday. All right, let me call. I'm calling Robyn because maybe she can explain this to me, because that's part of my frustration. Oh, sorry, I'm an idiot. I just texted her, Robyn, because I was saying her name. I just texted her. Just getting a random text of your name. Does that ever happen? Calling now. I don't know. That's why I need the simulcast. I can't do this show by myself. It's too much tonight. It's too much for me. Thank you guys for being here. If you can, become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Thank you, Jim, for your super chat in the chat and for being a moderator, keeping everybody safe. Okay, here we go. Dingy, dingy, dingy. Oh. Hello? Did you call me? Or did I call you? Hello? Oh, shit.
And there she is.
Okay. Did you call me? Or
I did.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were having trouble.
Thank you. No, that's good to know, because I was just clicking the thing and it didn't, and then you called. So at least now I know that, I can get incoming calls. So
yeah, we can make it work one way or the other.
Yeah, hold on. I don't understand, this happened last time too. We're in a little box here. It's okay. We can keep talking. I can figure out
I'm in a box?
You're in a box. Like I always, when Boudica goes in, when I get a shipment from Chewy or something, and Buddha goes in the box. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always sing Buddha in a box, Buddha in a box. She's so cute. Anyway, you can't box her in. That's what I tell her. Don't box yourself in, Booty.
Nobody puts Buddha in a box.
No. Exactly. What is going on with picture in, picture? Oh, there we go. Better. That's better. Now we're side by side. Okay. Very good.
I'm in a little box. I'm in a little box, and you're in a big box.
Okay.
On my end, so.
You are. I am. I mean, if you go onto my channel, because you don't see the channel feed. You just see the Skype. Okay.
Wonderful.
But you could see, and then you could see the people in the chat room, and so yeah.
I can see.
Yes. So okay, I was just telling everybody that I don't get it. So maybe you do. I don't understand why when the con man releases an executive order that says that all federal funding has to stop, why everyone doesn't immediately burst out into laughter and throw it in the fucking circular file that next to the desk, because he doesn't control the purse strings. This is money that's already allocated
and that's one of the things that the Biden administration did on the way out the door, is make sure that all the money that had been appropriated went into the funding streams.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I don't get how everyone's acting as if he is a king. Right? I mean, I get it that he has power,
Wow,
but
Tara, it's the institutionalists.
yeah, that's got to be that. I don't get it. Why don't they just say, well, you know, hey, that's unconstitutional. Fucking take it to court if you want to. If you want to go like and assert your kingly powers, go right ahead. But Congress is the ones who allocate the funds.
The fundamental problem here is the Democrats are powerless.
Are they completely powerless? I know they're not in the majority, of course, but don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other thing I was saying. That one asshole can stop all these military promotions, but what can the Democrats do?
I mean, a Democrat can do that.
Yeah. So why don't they?
Over on the Senate side. Well, they may at some point.
Then they should.
But I don't know that there are any promotions out there.
Right. Well, stuff like that. But it has to apply.
The fundamental problem with the funding issue, though, Tara, is the fact that under the scheme, for lack of a better word, that the framers came up with, the various branches of government were supposed to be really, really jealous of the powers that they held.
Okay.
And so the legislative branch was supposed to be jealous of the executive was supposed to be jealous of the judiciary was jealous of you get the idea.
Okay.
But all of that, and I don't want to get all nerd girl too early in the program.
It's fine.
But
it's helping.
But if you read Federalist number 10, it's a work of substantial and frankly inspiring leisure de man by James Madison, in which he says, well, you know, what we've got to guard against here is faction.
Okay, yeah.
Which is the 18th century, late 18th century term, the late 18th century term for parties.
Number what? I'm looking it up.
Number 10.
Number 10. Okay.
And it's almost as though he's trying to convince himself, as he writes, that, okay, we're going to have factions, so it'll probably be okay. But then almost immediately, parties did form. You had the Federalists, and you had the Jeffersonian Republicans. And they immediately went at each other's throats. And so what you have now is that in an extreme form, and Mullah Moses Mike Johnson completely, that jealousy I was talking about. Mullah Moses Mike Johnson has completely surrendered.
Yeah, it's so pathetic.
His body's power to Orange Julius Caesar.
Oh yeah, it's so.
And so he's just going to do what he's told. So if he's told that Daddy says that he can that his word is law, Mullah Moses Mike Johnson will say yes.
Wow, that's really horrible. And people like Hakeem Jeffries can say things. Frankly, the strongest voice in the House we have right now on our side is AOC, and goddamn them, the institutionalist Democrats probably spend more time trying to shut her up than trying to fight these godforsaken maggots. Right. Well, apparently the Democrats are having an all hands on deck meeting tomorrow to, I guess, discuss what to do about this shit.
Yeah, that's great, y'all.
Should have had
really
it like a month ago.
I mean, have you noticed that the bow of the Titanic is now completely submerged? But
exactly.
Yes, let's have a meeting.
Well, maybe they're having it to. I'm hopefully, they're having it to coordinate their response, their attacks, because that's the other thing about the Democrats, and that you see with with the Republicans, they are all on message constantly. So
yes.
Whatever that message might be, as horrific as it is, but they all stick to it.
And one of the things I said before you joined was, if I were a member of the United States Senate, I would be embarrassed to completely surrender my privilege.
Yep.
Because in the constitutional scheme, the House gets the powers of the purse. You can't get around it.
Yeah.
Spending bills begin and end in the House.
So, yeah, exactly.
So what they gave to the Senate was the power of advice and consent.
Mm-hmm.
And they're apparently not interested in that. I've got a bunch of clips lined up.
Okay.
I've got a bunch of clips lined up from Whalehead Dead Bear Brainworm's confirmation hearing today.
Wow.
That I thought we might run.
Sure. I mean, I watched it, and it was really, it was unreal, as usual, that the Republicans
it is
are so
surreal.
Yeah.
I was listening to it on my way down the mountain, taking my daughter to a medical appointment. I just sat there shaking my head,
It's unbelievable. It's really.
We're talking about maggot senators who 6 months ago would not have peed on Bobby Kennedy had he been on fire.
Yeah, and then they're all just praising him to the hilt. It's like.
And when the hearing began this morning, did you catch that they had some applause staged?
Yeah, I did. I didn't understand where that
was
coming from.
As he walked in.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't happen.
No.
Okay.
No. It's different.
These are
it's a reality. It's a show.
Serious affairs.
Yep. But they know that they are trying to influence the public, and that's all that matters. They want the American people to be like, oh well, I guess everybody likes him. Me too. I'm a maggot too. Trump likes him. I gotta like him. I like him. Yeah, I don't know. I just like them.
It's a little. I mean, not a lot of other radio hosts out there can say this. Some can, but I know Bobby.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I've worked with him.
Yes.
I worked with him on his documentary, The Last Mountain.
Yep.
When he came down here and used us, vulgar. He used us like John uses a prostitute. Because we were desperate for help from anybody who would try to do something to give us some relief from the endless torment of mountaintop removal, coal extraction. And he was so cynical. He ran such a con.
What did he do?
Well, it all started with a meeting down at the headquarters of Cold River Mountain Watch in Whitesville, West Virginia. And this is before the actual movie stuff started, but he came in and explained to us, and these are some serious grassroots climate change activists, environmental justice activists, and he came in to explain to us how we had to support fracking.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because fracking fracking was a bridge fuel to a green energy future.
Oh, geez. Who was paying him?
Well, that was at the same time that Carl Pope, who was at the time head of Greenpeace, had received many tens of millions of dollars from the fracking industry. The fracking industry paid Greenpeace to flack for them. That got out.
Holy
Carl
shit.
Pope was humiliated. He had to stand down as head of as the CEO or executive director of Greenpeace.
Yep. Well, was that when Paul Watson left them, or I don't know.
But the point was that whatever got the check written and whatever made the check clear, Bobby was on board with, because he at the time was sitting. I hope I don't get this wrong. He was sitting on the. He was sitting on the leadership of the Natural Resources Defense Council. And so after that, he comes down and said, oh, we're going to, and then he had a meeting in a church. I have photographs of my children standing with Bobby Kennedy at that church, that meeting down in Rock Creek, West Virginia. And he talked about how they were going to be making a movie all about the devastation of mountaintop removal and what it's done to our Central Appalachian communities. And they shot it, and we organized a rally in front of the Department of Environmental Protection down in Charleston. In fact, I drove right by there today, and I thought about that day. And your humble hostess in her former incarnation is actually in the trailer
Yes.
to that that film.
You're just
Don't
in the
look-
trailer? I thought you were in the
yeah,
film.
No, please don't look it up.
Okay,
I implore you,
won't,
please
I
don't look it
won't.
up.
That's
Anybody,
what's
don't
it,
look it up.
Okay, all right. I
But
won't
I was in charge of introducing him to speak to the audience. Okay. And it was, and so if you watch the documentary, it's all about Bobby's desperate quest to bring wind turbine energy to the last standing mountain in southern West Virginia, Coal River Mountain. And there's a clip of him in the movie saying, "I'm going to go." I don't want to do the Bobby Kennedy voice.
Yeah. Oh
I'm
God.
I'm going to go to the White House, and I'm going to tell that Barack Obama that we've got to have green energy in West Virginia.
Okay.
It was all a con. It was, and once they were done shooting the movie,
That's
he
it.
was gone,
He
and
didn't
we
do
never
shit.
heard from him again.
Right. He didn't
And no,
follow
there
it.
were no wind turbines built on
Right.
Coal River Mountain, and now Coal River Mountain is gone.
Wow. And it's just a movie. There was no action following it up. Like everything else that with what these
No, he
fuckers
went up.
say.
The other part of the movie was him going up to some, I don't know, some monastery or something up in Rhode Island, and how they had a wind turbine, and they interviewed some monk or whatever who said, "Oh, all of our electricity is produced by our whatever."
Yeah.
It was disgusting. It was cynical. But here's the thing, and I'm not necessarily done. I got interrupted in my listening, Tara, so I need a little help here. Was that it today, or is he coming back for more?
I think that might be it. Let me look that up. I don't know, because after I shut it
Because I
off
keep
while they were
seeing-
all... Let me see.
I keep seeing references to Kennedy's first confirmation
okay.
hearing.
Let me see. Will there be another RFK Jr. See, the standards are so gone out the window.
Oh, sure.
It's pathetic. And I have to say, like I always say, if I had to have someone come in and babysit my cats, you want to get somebody competent who loves cats, who knows about cats.
It would be nice if they liked cats and didn't,
and
maybe,
wasn't
and didn't keep birds of prey who like to kill cats.
Well, that's the thing. But
I don't want. I know how much you love animals, and I don't want to trigger you. But Jesus Christ,
No.
the business with the
I know
the blender.
That's fucking horrific. And what is it with all of these maggots? Animal abuse, sexual abuse. They're all damaged and disturbed.
You know
people.
what? Considering Bobby's history, because there's another. There's another story that was out there. He, over the course of years, and I didn't catch if anybody asked him about this. Over the course of years, he secretly recorded his second wife.
Yes, I heard about that.
And in point of fact,
he's a very sick person.
When he was out promoting the Last Mountain documentary, at one point in time he was in California, and she was in New York, and he recorded a conversation between them. Well, as long as he was in New York recording her, New York is a single consent state, so that means that either side of the conversation can record, and there's no legal problem. California, however, is a dual consent state. So he may have actually committed a crime back then
in
recording.
Happened?
And then, but what's shittiest of all of this is that he gaslighted that woman so hard. I mean, this is, and I was on the Lib Boat cruise with him at the time all of this was going on. You've met my son Ferg. Well, Ferg and his son Aiden became best buds on the boat, and But at the time we were on all of this was going on, and eventually what Bobby Kennedy did was to hound his second wife until she hanged herself.
Yes, right.
This is the guy they want to be in charge of the health and well-being of the people of the United States of America.
Yeah, and it's absolutely repugnant. And that's what I'm talking about. If you would want somebody that loves, at least the organization, that understands the organization, that understands the government, that is altruistic, that isn't a damaged person like him, who with all kinds of kooky conspiracy theories, and that I just couldn't believe all of his denials. I'm not anti-vaccine. I mean, don't you realize we have everything on tape? You are, and he's.
Oh, I have a great clip right here, Tara, for exactly that point.
Yeah.
But I did want to point out that Corey Lewandowski might want to keep an eye on his main squeeze, Kristi Noem.
Okay. They're in a relationship, them two?
Oh God, yeah. He's been banging her like a cheap Pier 1 gong for years.
They're all horrible. That's what I'm talking about. Shooting a dog.
I mean, her husband moved out of the South Dakota governor's mansion years ago. And it's an open secret in maggot world that they're a couple.
Okay.
But and Corey, of course, is an abusive sex pest who has been caught sexually abusing women in real time. Okay. And of course, I've come to believe that you've got to have some sort of kink in your your makeup in order to get a job.
Yes.
With the finally adjudicated sexual abuser and convicted felon.
The only thing you can do wrong and get on his bad side is be a good person with integrity and decency.
Exactly.
And like
so what with Kristi Noem out there shooting puppies and goats, poor goat, and with Bobby out there doing what he does to feed his raptors.
Oh no, I know.
And chainsawing the heads off of whales, and purloining bodies of roadkill bears.
What a disgusting
person. Those two are made for each other, aren't they?
Ugh. Who?
I mean,
who's made for each other? Corey
Kristi Noem and Whalehead Dead Bear Brainworm.
They get along fine. I'm sure they would. Yeah, because they're both sociopaths, and who takes such an innocent little chick and blends it in a blender? It's beyond. It's horrible. It's just horrific. What a horrible person. And they're just sick people, all of them. So, yeah, I don't get it. And what did his cousin say? Caroline Kennedy said,
it's no surprise that he keeps birds of prey because he is a predator himself.
Yeah, that's your family. They know who knows you best, who's grown up with you, who's seen you, who knows who's seen your actions. It's incredible. Well, he's anti-vaccine. Of course, he says that poppers cause AIDS, not it was not HIV. It's poppers.
Really? Poppers?
Yeah.
Well, he also said that African AIDS is very different.
Yes.
From Western AIDS. This shit is out of idiocracy.
It's so fucked up. Yes.
The love of a pimp is different from the love of a square.
Yeah, it's insane. But that fits into all their fundamental racism too, as if Africans have a different kind of physiology or that they're different. They're fundamentally different, and they are affected.
A different species. I
mean,
look,
that's what it is.
The COVID virus was bioengineered as a weapon that spared black people and Ashkenazi Jews.
And I was watching some of his his kooky, some of his kooky statements, and it's incredible because they're so fast too. They just come out so fast, and he sounds like, adding those little details like Ashkenazi Jews. It gives it some credibility, a ring of credibility. Like he really knows.
Yeah, not the Sephardim, the Ashkenazi.
Like, boy, he really knows his stuff. That's what the whole thing of what it's supposed to give the veneer of expertise. And as I'm listening to him, I'm like, what is his expertise? He's not a scientist. He's not a doctor. He's just a nut job. And
No, don't sell him short, Tara. He is something that makes him able to do this stuff.
What?
He is a lawyer.
Oh, okay. True.
So, he can parse words, and he can argue over the fine details of minutia, so that you get so lost and caught up in that the original point gets lost.
Right.
One of the better moments today, and I know you saw this, came when Senator Raphael Warnock showed up with something that he whalehead dead bear brainworm was not ready for. Let's give this a listen.
With more than 10,000 employees in my state, if confirmed, you would be the cabinet secretary over the CDC. Representing HHS, it's about 29% of the federal budget. CDC is a part of that. Do you agree that the CDC's work is critical to Georgia, critical for our country, and the health of the entire world?
Yes, Senator.
Senator Isaacson, my Republican predecessor, would have agreed with that. Bless his memory. He was a fierce advocate for the CDC, as am I. The CDC is an agency filled with hard-working, dedicated public health servants. They wake up every single day working to keep us safe. I think we don't think often enough about their work, because it's easy not to celebrate folks who are protecting you from that which doesn't appear because of the work that they're doing. So grateful for the work that the CDC employees do. Some of them are members of my church. I saw that deep commitment firsthand when I visited the CDC just last summer. Mr. Kennedy, you have compared the CDC's work to Nazi death camps. You've compared it to sexual abusers in the Catholic Church. You've also said that many of them belong, this is a direct quote, many of them belong in jail. For me, those are disturbing characterizations of the CDC workers that I know who are trying to keep the American public safe every single day. And as you are presented as the nominee for this position, I need to know, do you stand by those statements that you made in the past, or do you retract those previous statements?
Senator, I don't believe that I ever compared the CDC to Nazi death camps.
Uh-oh. He's got the tape.
He walked right into that. Because see, when you're whalehead dead bear brainworm, there's so much crazy out there that you have said in order to perpetuate and propel your grifts that you can't keep up. I think it was Mr. Cub. No, it was Satchel Paige, who said something like, "Don't tell a lie, because the more you lie, the harder it is to keep track of them," or something like that. And well, here's one that he apparently forgot. I mean, there it is. I never said that.
Yep.
Right? But receipts.
You made in the past, or do you retract those previous statements?
Senator, I don't believe that I ever compared the CDC to Nazi death camps. I support the CDC. My job is not to dismantle or harm the CDC. My job is to empower the scientists if I'm privileged to be confirmed.
So you retract those statements?
I'm not retracting it. I never said it.
Oh, okay.
Well,
He's getting
actually,
out
I
of it.
have a transcript.
I have a transcript.
Let me read your words. It says that the institution CDC and the vaccine program, is your description of their work, is more important than the children that it's supposed to protect. And it's the same reason we had a pedophile scandal in the Catholic Church. It's because people were able to convince themselves that the institution of the church was more important than these little boys and girls who were being raped. That's pretty provocative language. You said in another statement to me, this is like Nazi death camp. I mean, let me finish. I'm just reading your words. I mean, what happened to these kids? 1 in 31 boys in this country, their minds are being robbed from them.
Yeah, I was not.
So the boys are under attack.
Comparing the CDC to Nazi death camps. I was comparing the injury rate to our children to other atrocities. And I wouldn't compare, of course, the CDC to Nazi death camps to the extent that any statement that I made has been interpreted that way. Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Yes,
Okay, we're gonna do one of these lawyer judging credibility kind of moments, and I bet as a preacher, Raphael Warnock's probably pretty good at this too. As he speaks, Whalehead Dead Bear Brainworm turns away, does not face Senator Warnock, and closes his eyes as he speaks. Because, of course, the eyes are the window of the soul.
In 2003, the United States Congress Government Oversight Committee ended an over a year investigation of the CDC and used almost that same language. They said that the CDC, but just one division, one branch, the Immunization Safety Office, had put institutional self-interest and pharmaceutical profits ahead of
these people.
The welfare and health of American children. So that was a conclusion by Congress. I repeat that.
I'm asking you because you're the nominee for HHS. It sounds like you stand by those statements.
Senator, my objective is to support the CDC. There's nothing I'm going to do that is going to harm the CDC. I want to make sure that our science is gold standard science.
Have you noticed? Stephen New York noticed. At first, he never said it.
Right. That's right.
Steve said, I thought he didn't remember saying that. But suddenly, he remembers so well that he remembers a study or a report.
Incredible. Yeah.
From 22 years ago.
Yep. Yeah, I never said it, but now I have all the pertinent details to try to wiggle out of it. They're just such
this is classic. This is so classic. If he didn't do it, if he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And even if he did, he was only following orders.
Right. And it's what Republicans do. They can't stand by their abhorrent policies because nobody wants what they're selling. And if they openly say what they're up to, they'll be rejected. And unfortunately, like, for example, Project 2025, when they realized, we're not... It was being received negatively, and this is exactly what they're implementing. And all the and all the maggots are. Wait a minute! Wait, my Meals on Wheels, my diabetes medicine, my what was it? Oh, my wife's job. There was some maggot that wrote did you see that? This maggot wrote
the maggot whose wife got deported to Venezuela.
Oh, I missed that one. That's good. I like that.
And he's like, guys, send her back.
Yeah,
she's good.
She's a good one.
She deserves to be here.
She's one of the good ones.
I voted for y'all.
I know, and that's how they ended all the time. I voted for you, but this is just wrong. Must be an unintended consequence. And there was somebody wrote about, this is a blanket unconstitutional mess, and I voted for Trump, but he's wrong on this. But would he be wrong if it didn't affect you? If it wasn't affecting you personally, would you say, wow, that's pretty wrong? Like everything else he's doing? Like kicking...
You mean like Nancy Reagan never gave a rat's ass about Alzheimer's disease until it struck Ronnie?
That's right.
Or how Nancy Reagan never gave a rat's ass about HIV/AIDS until it struck her buddy Rock Hudson?
That's right. Yeah, well, that's how they roll. Republicans only see the light when something affects them directly. And this is what we've all been talking about for years.
Once it's their ox getting gored,
that's it.
Suddenly we're not into oxen being gored anymore.
And this is part of the problem. It's like what Officer Fanone was saying on CNN. We are selfish. We are indifferent to the suffering of others. We couldn't care less about what we put our fellow Americans through. I mean, he's absolutely correct. And it's really pathetic, and that's that's the entire Trump effect, what they've done. And I notice, I mean, I keep hearing 49% or whatever it was, the percent of people who voted for Trump, but that's not really true. It's not half the country. I mean, unless I'm getting this wrong, because only 66% of the voting public voted, and of that, 31.8% voted for Trump. So 31% of the American people, it's not half, unless I'm misreading this somehow. But even still, most people, the majority, a lot of people stayed home for this. But they not understand. This is what I'm talking about with when they shut down the government. He pulled funding. The Republicans... I thought you wanted to drown government in a bathtub, Government bad. Everything bad. Ain't it big government bad? Kill it. We don't need it. And they laugh.
The most dangerous 9 words in the English language.
Right.
I'm from the government, and I'm here to help.
Exactly. And they laugh when Elon Musk, before the election, was saying, yes, we're going to have to, fire, millions. But don't worry, you'll get, a 2-year severance or whatever. And it's all bullshit.
And now it's $15,000.
Well, it's not.
And he doesn't have the $15,000 to give.
Exactly. Who is he to say you don't have the money, honey? You can't tell anyone. First, you said it was 8. They were going to give people 8 months to leave, but this is about deconstructing the administrative state. Getting rid of nonpartisan civil servants that they turn people against. We don't like those bureaucrats. That's what it's all these negative words and framing that they've been so good at developing and sticking to for all these years and manipulating the minds of the American people. It's not. These are our fellow Americans that are trying to make the country run and get your needs fulfilled too. We're all in this together. Maggots, can't you figure that out ever? Do you ever understand that this is part of society, and you like the parts that you benefit from, right? And that's what I call them, the Goldilocks set, because government, the size of government, is just right only in the ways that it affects them. But they don't understand that it all affects them. We're all in this together. If we live in a country where people are homeless, hungry, can't get a job, are struggling, all of that affects us. And for them they're so sickening how during the campaign when Elon Musk is saying that they're going to fire everybody, and they laugh and they applaud. Firing their fellow Americans, that they don't give a shit unless it's them. Like this guy that I was talking about, whose wife is a nurse. He's a big Trumpanzee, and she got caught up. She got a letter rescinding her job offer, but they had already moved to a new town, and they were still had stuff in boxes or something, and they were unpacked. This can't be right.
That's happened multiple times.
Right, but then he writes, My wife is a nurse and was recently hired by the VA. Our home is packed up. We have a new home, have spent thousands to move our family from Fort Worth to Waco. Following Trump's hiring freeze, VA rescinded her job offer. My wife is in tears, is inconsolable. My family is devastated. It's been my wife's dream to work with needy, disabled veterans. I'm a disabled vet. Of course, he's probably getting benefits and whatnot, but he deserves.
Right. Yeah.
And,
he's got his front. He's got his front trotters in the front.
Yeah,
He's got his front trotters in the trough and the back ones too.
Exactly. But shrink it and drown it, right? Her job was to start in 2 weeks. And we are all, this is all caps now, we are all huge Trump supporters. And I know this was an unintended consequence. I'm sure the veterans' medical care professionals were not the target of this EO. Please help me. Yes, please help me get this message to White House so the president can fix this error. Veterans need not to be affected because of out of control government spending. Fuck you.
The leopards told you they were going to eat your face, sugar, and you voted for the leopards eating people's face party.
Out of control.
Let's finish this clip from Senator Warnock, because we've got several others, and they're all doozies.
Good.
Science. So, and it's free from that same government oversight investigation committee found that the panels, the ACIP panel, and within the CDC, I think 97% of the people on it had conflicts. I don't believe that that's right. I think we need to end those conflicts and make sure that scientists are doing unobstructed science.
So I want to enter this statement, by the way, into the record without objection.
Without objection.
Last week, the White House gagged HHS and the CDC, preventing them from communicating all important public health information to anyone, including all of our allies, including our allies in the United States and global disease prevention. Can you just answer yes or no, because I'm running out of time? Do you agree with that action?
I was not consulted on it, but that's pretty much standard operating procedure for incoming administration.
So you agree with the action that gagged HHS and CDC from communicating important public health information?
That directive made sure that no public health and only non-essential travel and mass communications were temporarily suspended pending the confirmation of a new HHS secretary. This is standard operating procedure for.
I get it.
Actually, it's not. But what the hip kids call the sick burn is coming.
Communications were temporarily suspended. Pending the confirmation of a new HHS secretary. This is standard operating procedure for.
I get it.
And well, they cut the clip early, but he said it's like, I've got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell, if you believe that. Yeah.
Well, there will be another hearing, just to answer your earlier question.
Well, then I need to get on the stick. I don't know. I'll try to figure out. I'll get with my friends at Cold River Mountain Watch and figure out who we need to reach out to, because, the maggots were perfectly happy.
It's tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, I know. But Maggie Hassan was like, "Well, I'm glad to see my Republican colleagues are so accepting of a pro-choice Democrat for a position like this." Well, the fact of the matter is, Bobby Kennedy was public enemy number one in West Virginia in those years when he was making his little documentary. And he was public enemy number one because he kept saying that we have to end mountaintop removal, that there is a public health crisis, people are getting sick, people are dying, and it's environmentally terrible. Now, his orange daddy, the guy he referred to as my boss,
I know,
said that just last week, or maybe earlier this week, said that he wants to power the AI, the AI centers. He wants them put next to coal-fired power plants, which, of course, in Appalachia are the fuel comes from mountaintop removal. And mountaintop removal, of course, has to poison people in order to exist.
Mm-hmm.
And there are more than 24 peer-reviewed studies that point to the fact that this is happening. And that's why we've pushed for the Appalachian Communities Health Emergency Act since 2012. I don't know if it'll be reintroduced in this Congress. I hope so. But he needs to, one of these Democrats needs to, just have a little chat with him about that and whether he still supports the Appalachian Communities Health Emergency Act, which would end mountaintop removal because of public health. See, here's the fun thing about the way that the AIC Act is written. It's a simple and elegant little bill, and it says we're gonna pause mountaintop removal operations for 5 years, we're gonna pause new permits. We're gonna let the old permits work out because the permits are 5 years long, and in the interim there's going to be a full-scale epidemiological study that determines why people living near mountaintop removal operations have disproportionate amounts of cancer, heart disease, brain disease, birth defects, miscarriages, all of which are documented. And if that study yields those results, then the Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services, Tara, has to certify that mountaintop removal cannot be done safely around human populations and therefore must be ended.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Yeah, I doubt.
But maybe Sheldon Whitehouse, because I know he's aware of it, or at least once upon a time was. We worked intensely with the Senate. Maybe Senator Warnock. I don't know. But I need to get on the blower with some folks after the program's over.
They'll ask a question about that.
Yes, because under that bill, it would be his job to end mountaintop removal. If the bill ever became law, it won't happen in this administration, of course. But if the bill ever became law, it would be his job to put an end to it.
Yeah.
And of course, that would eliminate 1,100,000 billion gajillion good-paying coal jobs.
Right. That's the excuse.
Right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that's reasonably important. And then, of course, there were so many clips. I mentioned Sheldon Whitehouse. I've got that here. This is worth.
Yeah.
This is worth paying attention to. And we're queued up.
Conversation about late-term abortions here, and I just want to make clear what Rhode Island OBGYN doctors describe as what is almost always happening when a late-term abortion is needed. It is a childbirth gone wrong. The family has painted the room, it has bought the crib, maybe even decided on the baby's name, and has gone to the hospital to welcome the new baby into their family in what is supposed to be a happy event. And then things went wrong. Then the alarms started pinging. The lights started flashing. The medical professionals started rushing in. And the question became, who lives and who dies? The mom's life is often at risk, and she may have other children she needs to care for. The baby's life may be at risk, and one or both may die.
Yep.
In that environment, the doctors and the family own that decision. Government has no place in that room at that point. And I think we need to understand when this late-term abortion gets bandied about, what you're dealing with is a tragedy that is happening to a family who wanted that child and have suddenly been confronted with a moment in which they have to make what is probably going to be the worst decision of their lives. And to try to shove the state legislature into that room is really offensive, really morally wrong. And I just want to make very clear what Rhode Island OBGYNs tell me is the situation when these procedures have to be deployed.
Senator Warren.
He was disgusted.
Well, it's good that he said that, because I wish the Democrats
Well,
would.
I wish he would have gone further and said, and Republicans have used these tragic circumstances as a political football and a talking point.
Yeah,
Knowing
disingenuously.
full well that every time they bring it up, they are triggering a return and a repeat of agony that families have already been through and probably go through every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they don't care, because it's about the politics and the power and the money.
Yes, and they also what was also annoying me, because they kept, when they brought up abortion, of course I always say the Democrats need to start, reminding, or at least educating the American people that Republican policies have actually increased abortion around the country, and that also infant mortality, and that criminalizing abortion does not reduce the abortion rate. It just kills women. And I'm glad that he said that, because they use late-term abortion. Nobody goes in at the 9th month and says, "Get this thing out of me. I don't want it anymore." He's exactly right. People are going through a trauma. There is a problem, a serious problem, and so it's really nobody's business. But they would. What also irritated me, and I hope the Democrats in their all-hands-on-deck meeting, maybe they'll listen to our show here and get a few clues.
Don't you just
I
wish?
know. I wish, because they suck at.
In fact, on this meeting, I had a note from Matt in San Francisco a little bit ago. The Democratic meeting. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it'll be a great, strongly worded memo that comes out of it.
Exactly. They'll
Maybe
be very
Chuckles
concerned.
Schumer can read it out loud, looking down with his glasses perched precariously on the end of his nose.
Yes, and very slowly, without much emotion. But what the Democrats need to stop doing is using the Republican frames. Like, the Republicans can't even call the Democratic Party by its name, and everybody knows how that gets me, very, very irritated. And because the Democrats look like beaten dogs. But they shouldn't say pro-life. You might be pro-life. It's not pro-life. They're not pro-life. You could say anti-choice. Why are you using their frame? Or anti-freedom, anti-privacy.
No, they are anti-abortion.
Yeah,
that's
anti-abortion.
all they are. They're anti-abortion. They're not pro-anything.
They're not pro-life, because it's
anti-abortion. They are anti-woman.
Right. Who's not pro-life? Republicans are not pro-life. Who doesn't like life? Okay. We're Democrats are pro-life, because we pass policies that actually reduce the abortion rate. That if somebody finds themselves pregnant, because the number one reason that studies show that someone might seek to terminate a pregnancy is because of they can't afford it. It's economics. And okay, so that's why health care, living wages, giving people maternity leave, paternity leave, all that stuff contributes to the ability of someone who hey, I can afford it. Okay, let's, things like that. But Republicans stand in the way every time. And when Republicans are in office, the abortion rate goes up, as does the suicide rate and the deaths by despair. And that's why I've been thinking about this too, the past 8 days, how much the deaths by despair are going to go up in this country. Suicide rates.
Yeah. One issue that I've been thinking about a lot recently, with what they did to trans adolescents.
Yeah, exactly.
In the last few days.
Yep, that's what I mean.
I mean, we already have the numbers to show how many trans kids contemplate suicide.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you ramp up the hate, you ramp up those numbers.
And that's what they do. They don't care. It's hey, that's a
No,
sacrifice
and
they're willing to make. Right?
And Cynthia in the Bay Area pointed out being indifferent to the sufferings of others is the hallmark of being a fucking sociopath.
Yes, absolutely. Government by sociopathy. That's why they passed that Ayn Rand asshole book around. She's a sociopath. You know, altruism is evil. You know, that's not the way human beings were created, by whether you believe in God or not. If you believe in God, then, you know, God put in us the ability to feel empathy, to feel for our fellows.
Notion that I'm sure you saw the meme, don't commit the sin of empathy.
I didn't see that.
Did you see that? Oh yeah, it was some maggot.
Are you kidding me?
With a picture of Bishop Buddy.
Oh my God!
And he said, "Don't commit the sin of empathy."
That is. Wait. I'm looking this up. When you said it, I thought it must have been something ironic, but it's for real. It's
real.
Don't commit the sin of empathy, and that's absolutely sick.
You know, for starters, it's not a sin.
Yes.
That's a blessing.
Right.
That's how we actually have functioning societies.
And this is what I'm talking about all the time. Why don't they take their asses to the woods? F off to the woods.
I don't have it to hand, but there was.
I'm looking.
There was a clip that went around of little Benny Drywife Shapiro, you know, whose squeaky little voice makes Minnie Mouse sound like you know, Darth fucking Vader, squealing about, and of course, little Benny Drywife Shapiro wouldn't know the teachings of Jesus if Jesus showed up and, you know, taught him to him directly. Talking about how Jesus didn't support open borders. Okay, now, you know, we're talking about what, 28 CE? There were no borders.
Yeah, exactly.
And the idea that he, of course, he identifies as an Orthodox Jew.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he doesn't even know the fact that, and maybe it's a little touchy for him, but right as sometime, at least according to the story, sometime shortly after Yeshua, the brown-skinned Palestinian day laborer and semi-literate itinerant rabbi who wore a dress every day of their life was born, Mary and Joseph and him had to break camp and hightail it because Herod the Great was sending out his death squads to kill every newborn male in Palestine.
Yes.
And so they took off and they headed to Egypt. Guess what? There was no Egyptian border. Mm-hmm. They just fell within the jurisdiction of whatever the government of Egypt was. Mm-hmm. There was nobody there. There was no border checkpoint. There was no jurisdictional requirement. There were no passports.
Sure.
But you know, here's this squeaky little dweeb trying to fast talk his way into trashing an Episcopalian bishop.
Yeah, I'm reading it now. Ben Garrett. Who is this? Just a maggot, regular old maggot.
Yeah, just some piece of shit maggot.
Oh no! I knew it. Did you see his profile?
No.
It's a Christian husband, father, Christian, deacon at Refuge Church in Ogden, Utah, co-host of Haunted Cosmos. I guess that's a podcast. Wow.
Everybody has one these days.
Yes, exactly. Don't commit the sin. He's a Christian and a preacher. A deacon. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
The snake, this is what it says. Do not commit the sin of empathy. This snake is God's enemy and yours too. Talking about the bishop who said to Traitor Trump that, be kind to the stranger because we were, right out of the Bible it says. That's in the Bible. I guess it's not in 2 Corinthians though, right? He didn't
walk into a bar.
You know, how do you like what's your favorite passage from the Bible? Oh, you know, it's very personal to me. What are you, an Old Testament guy, New Testament? Equal. That's what he said. Where's the hammer? Equal. You know.
I like 2 Corinthians.
Yeah, 2 Corinthians. Walk into a bar and say, this snake is God's enemy and yours too. She hates God and his people because she was read exactly from the instructions in the Bible.
Uh-huh.
These people are the worst. And
sick. Sick.
Very
sick.
they are.
Tara, they're sick.
Yep. She is not merely deceived, but is a deceiver. Your eye shall not pity. Wow.
Guess where that "your eye shall not pity" shit comes from?
No, I don't know.
The Old Testament.
Oh, okay, of course.
You know, before grace, before salvation.
Before Jesus said, I'm here to rewrite the Old Testament and say, it says eye for an eye. I say turn the other cheek. So we're going to throw that old shit out the window.
Oh, somebody learned her catechism.
Well, I did have to go every week, so I don't know. So anyway, I'm absolutely appalled, but not surprised. The bottom keeps getting lower.
There's so much of this to go into.
Mm-hmm.
Early on, the hearing had barely started when he when Whalehead Dead Bear Brainworm got down on his knees and filleted the orange toe.
Uh-huh.
Yep. I know you heard this, and I know you probably howled at the moon. Here we go.
To our role as an exemplary nation, as a moral authority around the world, and we're writing off an entire generation of kids.
Thank you very much. And if confirmed, how could we work together to integrate nutrition-based interventions into our healthcare programs like Medicaid and Medicare?
Well, there are many ways that we can do that.
Just as long as the First Lady doesn't have a garden on the White House grounds.
Exactly.
Right?
Or say says something like, let's move, you know. And that was Michelle Obama's thing. They were all like, how fucking dare she? Right? How dare she tell us to let's move? Ugh, God, make it stop.
I know. So the stupid is coming.
Okay.
The federal funding of the SNAP program, for example, and of school lunch programs could be a driver for helping kids. We shouldn't be giving 60% of the kids in school processed food that is making them sick. We shouldn't be spending 10% of the SNAP program on sugar drinks.
I mean, I'm not going to fight over that one.
Yeah,
okay?
whatever. That's fine.
Because I'm an old. There was no pop machine in my elementary school. Neither was there one in my junior high. By the time we got to high school, there was.
Right.
But it was a syrup machine, and it just dispensed into a little cup, and you couldn't get that much.
Right.
But the older I get, the more I venerate the lunch ladies.
Mm-hmm.
They came into, and this is a school district in Alabama, okay? And they came in and they baked biscuits, and they made gravy, and they made hamburgers and cheeseburgers, and there was rice and apple crisp. And there wasn't anything that was out of a can. It was cooked.
Right. That's nice.
I mean, and we were pretty well fed. And back then, the early 70s, you didn't have a lot of poorly nourished school kids. It was still brutal. Everybody had to pay, unless you were on free lunch. And they made sure that they shamed the kids for that.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. But
how else will they learn, though?
But no, I don't believe in supporting the great big Capri Sun Corporation of America.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it was a big deal when we got chocolate milk instead of plain.
Well, it's just the hypocrisy.
Strong teeth and bones and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But none of this because this is all just a facade.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course we know that if Nitwit Nero could have had his way, witness that maggot from Tennessee, Tennistan. I'm sure you saw the clip a day or so ago. The maggot House of Representatives guy from Tennessee who wants to zero out free school lunches.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Especially lunch during the summertime.
I heard it. No, now it's coming back to me.
Yeah, children should have a job instead.
Yeah, of course. Well, as Mars Falcon says on the chat, the food makes them sick, so give them nothing. That's the Republican response, right? Give them nothing. That's it. You know, that's Gub'mnt. That's Gub'mnt doing things. So
the beatings will continue until morale improves.
And it's not, this is another example of them having no ability to grasp that we're in this together and that we are trying to set our society up for success, not failure. Those kids who need food.
Bobo, if you want school kids not to eat processed foods, are you prepared to ask Congress for a budget line item of billions of dollars to hire lunch ladies?
Yeah, get
who will cook from scratch, who will be in the cafeteria,
cook good nutritious
at
food
4 o'clock in the morning, making biscuits.
Actual food that's nutritious, not processed. Good, that's great. But they don't. They won't tax Elon Musk. Take a few zeros off his bank account, and we could all have great food, great lunch, great hot lunch for everybody.
Take a few zeros off that pervert's bank account, and we don't have any homeless or hungry people in the country anymore.
No homeless, no hungry, no.
That's one of the things. Yeah, that's one of the things we have not done a good enough job at.
Right.
We have hungry people in America. We have homeless people in America. Because we have Elon Musk in America.
That's it. And you're 100% right there, because this is another thing the Democrats, because they don't talk about how the fact that Elon Musk, how dare Elon Musk, somebody like him, exist. I mean, he's whatever, but there shouldn't be.
How dare he set himself up above hungry children?
That's right. And it should be
vilified. I don't want to hear another goddamn word about Christianity out of any maggot's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I don't want to hear another word out of their mouths about law and order.
That's right. Yep. Because they just unleashed 1,500 domestic terrorists into the society. But they're all talking about, like Dr. Phil, someone posted who was it?
Oh God, yeah. You mean where he showed up for the ICE
attack? Now it's don't worry about any government services. You'll get to, or don't worry if you're hungry. You'll get to watch Deportation starring Dr. Phil. But who was it?
And then of course yesterday, before she went swanning into her new job at DHS, Kristi Noem was in New York City. On an ICE attack.
Yeah. She was cosplaying ICE agent.
Yeah, and she cosplayed ICE agent and referred to undocumented migrants as
what?
Dirtbags.
Really?
Dirtbags.
No one's a bigger dirtbag than her, though. This is who they are. But Dr. Phil, apparently Selena Gomez posted a video, an emotional video about the deportations, and Dr. Phil shamed or whatever, chastised her for not, as basically saying, why are you identifying with rapists? You shouldn't be crying over rapists. It's not, no one is against deporting criminals. Get them out of here. That's fine. What about, this is not what they're doing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they're hardened criminals, why deport them so they can turn around and try to come back?
Yeah, it's just...
Put them in prison.
Exactly. That's true.
But Nitwit Nero now, we know, wants to put them in Guantanamo.
Just lock them up for life. No habeas corpus. Just lock them up. But, yeah, it's all... And I'm sure you saw that all these deportation flights, he's using military planes, and each flight is costing nearly $1 million.
Yeah.
And as compared to civilian flights, which would be less than $10,000, in fact, around $8,000 a flight to deport these people. And, he's got to use a military plane because, that makes him look like a tough guy. You see, the General or Cadet Bone Spurs, who couldn't show up when his country called because his feeties hurt, is a real tough guy, don't you think? Ain't he strong?
But they only used bone spurs because palladial cysts were already taken.
Right, by Rush Limbaugh. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Another one. All of them. They're absolutely repugnant. And one of the things that, just getting back to this RFK thing, what was really annoying me too, that, I don't know, Democrats never respond. They only have limited time, I understand, but it's enough. It's enough politeness. It's enough, I'll work with you. It's the fire is, we don't need, we're in the midst of a goddamn house burning to the ground here. And we're not looking for bipartisan geniality. But he was, of course, lying. He said that the reason that we had so many, Boutica's here. Hi, Booty.
Hi, Booty. Prettiest little kitty in the world.
She is. And the reason someone brought up that we had the worst response to COVID in the whole goddamn world, and his response was that we have the reason we had over 1 million dead and 500,000 needlessly died under Traitor Trump because we are the sickest people on earth. Yeah, what an oversimplification that feeds right into his agenda, right?
Right, but the maggots don't do detail, and the maggots don't do nuance.
Right,
back to this business with whalehead, dead bear, brainworm, and nutrition.
We have a direct ability to change things there. We also,
God help us.
In Medicaid and Medicare, we need to focus more on outcome-based medicine, on putting people in charge of their own health care.
Go away.
Of making them accountable for their own health care so they
What
understand
does that mean?
the
Work
relationship
requirements?
between eating and getting sick.
Oh, okay.
Most importantly, we need to deploy NIH and FDA to doing the research to understand the relationship between these different food additives and chronic disease so that Americans understand it.
What makes me think all of that research has probably already been done?
Yeah, it has. But he wants the junk science.
If they are food additives and they are in the food supply, somewhere along the way they have been determined to be safe for human consumption.
But right. But that's regulation.
I'm surprised he didn't bring up the whatever the acceptable standard is for the amount of rat hair in a hot dog.
Well, I told you I'm sure you know anyway about how Trump pulled out all the FDA inspectors the first time in his first maladministration, allowing more feces, toenails, all things that humans can't digest. And increasing the amount of feces allowed.
I got a hoof in my hamburger. Do I win something?
Right. It's like I got it from Little Rascals when they were pulling out the brush and whatnot, right? And but what? How much do you hate the American people? Because you're literally letting them eat shit. Right? It says it all. But anyway.
But eventually in this clip, it's not far away now, he's going to make sure, because he's playing to an audience of one. Mm-hmm. They all do.
Yes.
And he has to get it in there. Here we go.
And make sure that Americans are away. But I don't want to take food away from anybody. If you like a cheeseburger, a McDonald's cheeseburger, a Diet Coke, which my boss, you should be able to get them. If you want to eat Hostess Twinkies, you should be able to do that.
But the funny thing is he caught unmitigated shit photo op aboard
Yes.
the Lolita Express, by the way, with Trump.
Yes.
And they made him sit there with a Big Mac and a Coke in front of him.
Yep. Right. Against his strongly held beliefs, I guess.
A cheeseburger and a Coke, which my boss loves.
Yeah. Everyone knows he loves McDonald's and he loves eating shit. But
have another one, Nitwit Nero.
Yeah, keep
have a
it up.
goddamn dozen.
That's what I always say about them. Please have as many greasy hamburgers as you want. Keep it up. Keep up the good work, maggots. And you're helping us, because every time one of these maggots steps off the mortal coil, I think the world breathes a little bit easier. There's no more. I mean, there's one less antagonist trying to harm everyone. It's like they're just so sick. And there's another one who's up for OMB, right? That guy. What's that guy's name? But he's the one that said that he wants government workers to all feel traumatized. This is, they're talking about their fellow Americans, right? And that's why I always say the Republicans really don't like this country. They hate this country because you can't call yourself a patriot if you hate your country. You want your fellow Americans to be traumatized. That's what he said. What? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you people? And then this whole daddy's home thing. That's all.
Oh yeah, Mel Gibson, daddy's
right.
home.
Well, they're all
saying
that. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Mel Gibson. Yeah, but they're all saying it. Daddy's home. This is shorthand for what? What has to happen here?
Hit me again, Daddy, and put a little stank on it.
Yeah, we need to be abused. We need to what? That's what it is. That's what they're saying because they hate their fellow Americans.
Literally beat some sense into the Americans that we hate.
Right. Just beat them up. Beat them up. You don't like liberals. Meanwhile, they want all the policies that liberals fought for and that Republicans stand against. Like all these, and all the veterans who voted for Trump. Yeah, Trump hates veterans. Can anybody, let's get real here. Like this guy, my wife was recently hired, and then we got a rescinding, the offer. But the Republicans have consistently stood against any bill that aids or helps or the toxic burn pits. I think a few Republicans voted for that, along with Democrats. Yes, but otherwise they stand they just stand against anything. I'm trying to look it up. I had this whole list here, but I don't get it. But
look,
let them eat hate.
Exactly.
That's the new motto of the American.
Republicans voted with Democrats on the Inflation Reduction Act. And the disingenuity of Nitwit Nero saying, and we're going to defund all these Green New Deal things.
Oh God, I know.
There is no Green New Deal.
Exactly. And why is the corporate media reporting that they will report the text of these executive orders, but they will not say there is no Green New Deal. This is a complete fabrication. I wish there was a Green New Deal, but there is not. Yeah. It's not a thing.
But we're gonna eliminate the tax credit for electric vehicles. That
doesn't exist. Well, the tax credit. You mean the tax? Well, he's saying mandate.
Under the premise of eliminating the Green New Deal.
Yes, that there's a mandate. They're buying electric cars. People want to buy electric cars.
I'd love to have an electric car.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
It's better than. I mean, I have an electric. I have a hybrid.
As long as it's not like the wank panzer.
Yeah. Well, you need. No. I wouldn't buy a Tesla or one of these exploding cars now. I mean, oh my God, never. And that's the other thing that when they were questioning RFK about him saying COVID mandates or what was he saying? We're like Nazi Germany. It was like akin to Nazi Germany. They're always comparing. They're always crying about Nazi Germany. That anything that is good for public health, anything that we have to get together and do as a group, as a country.
Nazi.
Yeah, as a country and a community. If we have to consider our fellow Americans and try to work with them and leave no one behind, that's all Nazi. That's the Nazi. That's
on the other hand, they do Nazi things, and that's just freedom.
Ding, ding, ding. Like with, they literally rip pages right out of the Nazi playbook, and enemies of the people, the lying press, poisoning the blood of our nation, and not just the talk, the actions, what he's doing now, firing all the civil servants, making loyalty the only qualification for your position. That is right out of the Nazi playbook. And that's how, when Hitler was made the chancellor, he destroyed the Weimar Republic in 3 months. And this is the exact
53
blueprint.
days.
Oh, well.
53
okay.
days.
Okay. Well,
not even 2 months.
But then, this is the exact playbook that they're following. They're taking it right from the Nazi playbook to do this blitzkrieg of offenses.
But what scares me just absolutely to death. If they are, and it feels like they are operating right out of the playbook, then that means somewhere in the offing in the immediate future is a Reichstag fire.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, you could be right there. I wouldn't put it past them, of course. Somebody's plotting something. That's why the press is so important, but they have already acquiesced.
Yeah.
Right?
Be nice. Be nice. Yeah, the press is so important. Be nice if we had one.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It'd be great if it wasn't just you and me. And I need to I need to send out thanks to Libby. Thank you so much. And that means we are down to $1,010 to finish the month of January fully funded.
Oh, shit.
We are we're within striking distance. It could happen, and it would be magnificent if it did, because that gives us a fighting chance going into February, which is a short month. I wanted to share just a couple of other things. Matt in San Francisco asked earlier, am I going to have to operate on myself?
Probably.
It's not like this is new. You can always take a chicken to the doctor.
Oh,
remember
right.
that one, Tara?
Right.
Remember taking a chicken to the doctor?
Back in the good old days, we used to barter. Yeah, people used to get their health care by trading chickens.
And seeing as how this is prayer meeting Wednesday from Cynthia in the Bay Area. Favorite maggot Bible verse. I bet they love this one. Leviticus 26:29. You shall eat the flesh of your sons, and you shall eat the flesh of your daughters.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
That's the sacred word of God.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Dyspeptic Bronze Age baloney.
Mm-hmm. From a bunch of dudes who didn't know
why it rained.
Yeah, and where the sun went at night.
Where is the sun? Will the sun come back tomorrow?
Right.
If it does, where will it come back?
Right. And they thought the Earth was the center of the universe, and even if they thought...
And by the way, I don't know if you caught it, but the last of the stolen documents case went away today.
Oh, of course, yes.
The maggot U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Florida.
How disgraceful.
Dismissed the charges against what's his name?
What
Aldera,
a nightmare.
And Waltine rhymes with Saltine Nauta. So that's gone.
Wow. Oh, okay.
And now Kim in New York informs me, and you're gonna love this one, Tara, because this is a story from home for you.
Oh no.
The Justice Department is in discussions to drop the case against Eric Adams.
I heard that too. And of course the con man's going to want something for that, I'm sure. He's a grifter too. I always hated Eric Adams. We could have had a good mayor. We could have had Maya Wiley, who I voted for, and a decent person, an actual servant of the people. But we can't have that. We don't deserve that.
No.
Because
And
of
of course-
propaganda. It really is the truth. That's the problem. It's really, money in politics and our corporate media, the silos of information that are really disinformation. That's why we're here.
And now convicted soon-to-be jailbird Bob Menendez of New Jersey
Well,
has joined Eric Adams in saying, well, I'm a Democrat who loves Trump. I need a pardon, too.
exactly. Well,
And
shamelessness.
Nitwit Nero may have
He
some
just
sympathy
might
for
do
Bob
it.
Menendez because Bob Menendez was taking shit tons of money from who?
From who? The Russians?
Egypt.
Oh, right.
Egypt. And who gave
just
Nitwit
like-
Nero
yeah.
$10 million in a brown paper bag?
That's right. Egypt.
Egypt. Yeah.
The corruption is right out in the open. Right now, and this is, I'm sorry, Dems. We're gonna have to come up with something more stronger than an email or imploring or decency. Like decent playing by the. I don't know. I'm saying it wrong here. They're acting as if it's not a crisis. They're acting as if the old rules still apply, and I'm not saying that they have to stoop to Republican levels. They have to get. They just got to get come at it with strength from a position, not pretending like it's not happening. Then what drives? I don't know. Am I?
No, you're okay.
Saying
You're
that
okay.
correctly. I'm not trying to say that they need to be, violent or liars. You don't, because we have the truth on our side. We have.
You have to be committed and you have to be forceful.
That's the word. You have to be forceful and unapologetic, and
You have to do what we do.
Yes, and say the truth. Don't buy into. Don't say. I mean, like we were saying earlier, pro-life. Give me a break. Why are they constantly validating these fallacies, the Republican brand, when the Republicans can't even say the goddamn name of the Democratic Party? You think they say pro-choice when they're talking about abortion? They say murder, the murder of babies. That's how they frame it.
Murder.
Yes,
Murder.
right. They're not.
And then the baby is born and it's coming out of the birth canal, and the doctor takes a pair of scissors and
Yes,
stabs
and just
it in
stabs
the
it, and then they put it on a table. They put it on a table and say, what are we going to do with the baby now? Oh, should we kill it or not? Right? This is how much they hate women, too. To say that women are capable of just, murder, kill it, get it out of me. I just want, put it on the table. I'll figure, maybe I'll kill it in a minute. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I'll make a sandwich.
Yeah, and that's why the Republicans need to control women, because they're evil fundamentally. They're demons. Like, they ate the apple. The snake tricked them, and that's the reason we're not in paradise.
Goddamn talking snake.
And they have
gossipy Gub'mnt viper.
Yeah, it wasn't for those dirty women who can't be trusted. They can't. We gotta control them, and that's what it's all about. So that for the Democrats, it just drives me up a fucking wall. They're so they always
Kumbaya,
so nice,
my lord.
Yes,
Kumbaya.
when they can't even say the name of the party. And why are you using the frame of why are you being so respectful to their lies, to their the fact is they're not pro-life. You should never say that, because all you're doing is spreading, as you're putting the stamp of approval. Well, I guess they're pro-life. Yeah, life. Who doesn't like life? And as on the other hand, Democrats are pro-murder, murder of babies. And even that's when when they were questioning Martin O'Malley, who wants to be DNC chair, God help us, and and Perjury Trader Green was going on. Do you still believe in murder? Right?
Are you a Roman Catholic?
Right. And we discussed this. Now it's coming back to me. I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I forgot. We talked about it.
We did.
Yeah. But, I mean, just the way she frames the questions, asking about God, for one thing, is unconstitutional. But the Democrats go, excuse me, I'm a Christian, and as a Christian, yeah, it's like, shut the fuck up with this. I don't know. I need to bang my head against the wall.
Micah sent this along from the Defense Intelligence Agency. DIA will pause all activities and events related to agency special emphasis programs effective immediately. January, that means Martin Luther King Jr. birthday.
Right.
February, Black History Month.
Of course, it's all
March,
gone.
Women's History Month. May, Holocaust Day, Days of Remembrance. Also May,
Wow.
Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Day.
Of
June,
course.
Pride. 19 June, Juneteenth.
Oh, of course, that's gone.
Women's Equality Day, National Hispanic Heritage Month, National Disability Employment Awareness Month, National American Indian Heritage Month.
What a bunch of babies. What a bunch of little, small, fragile, backward ass, unfit, poor little babies. Right? That's what they are. Oh, the world is so complex, isn't it? Right? There's so many different people in it. So many different people that I have to... Why should I respect them? Why should I give them any kind of... just the basic human decency of respect? It's so... It puts me out of my way. I gotta look at myself. It's like... They just, for God's sakes...
Well, as we wrap things up here, because I'm kind of dead on my feet.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
Up since a little before 5.
Oh, wow.
Or a little before 6.
You're
rather.
fine. You're fine.
I wanted to get to the clip of the exchange between Elizabeth Warren and Whalehead Dead Bear Brainworm.
Sounds good.
Her job was to point out all of his many conflicts of interest, and she nailed her, Luther-like, she nailed her theses to the door.
You just said that you want the American people to know you can't be bought. Your decisions won't depend on how much money you could make in the future. You won't go to work for a drug company after you leave HHS. But you and I both know there's another way to make money. So, Mr. Kennedy, will you also agree that you won't take any compensation from any lawsuits against drug companies while you are secretary and for 4 years afterwards?
Well, I'll certainly commit to that while I'm secretary. But I do want to clarify something because you're making me sound like a shill.
You
said it, Bob.
I did the Science Day presentation to the judge on that case to get it into court. Hearing.
Mr. Kennedy, it's just a really simple question.
Yeah.
You've taken in $2.5 million. I want to know if you will commit right now that not only will you not go to work for drug companies, you won't go to work suing the drug companies and taking your rake out of that while you're secretary and for 4 years after. It's just...
I'll commit to not taking any fees from drug companies while I'm secretary.
No, I'm asking about fees from suing drug companies. Will you agree not to do that?
You're asking me to not sue drug companies.
No,
and I'm not going to agree to that.
Drug companies as much as you want.
I'm not going to agree
applauding?
to not sue drug companies or anybody.
So let's do a quick count here of how, as secretary of HHS, if you get confirmed, you could influence every one of those lawsuits. Well, let me start the list. You could publish your anti-vaccine conspiracies, but this time on U.S. government letterhead, something a jury might be impressed by. You could appoint people to the CDC vaccine panel. who share your anti-vax views and let them do your dirty work. You could tell the CDC vaccine panel to remove a particular vaccine from the vaccine schedule. You could remove vaccines from special compensation programs, which would open up manufacturers to mass torts. You could make more injuries eligible for compensation, even if there is no causal evidence. You could change vaccine court processes to make it easier to bring junk lawsuits. You could turn over FDA data to your friends at the law firm, and they could use it however it benefited them. You could change vaccine labeling. You could change vaccine information rules. You could change which claims are compensated in the vaccine injury compensation program. There's a lot of ways that you can influence those future lawsuits and pending lawsuits while you are Secretary of HHS. And I'm asking you to commit right now that you will not take a financial stake in every one of those lawsuits, so that what you do as Secretary will also benefit you financially down the line.
I'll comply with all the ethical guidelines.
That's not the question. You have said...
You're asking me, Senator, you're asking me not to sue vaccine.
No, I am not. Mike,
yeah, you are. That's exactly what you're doing.
Look, no one should be fooled here. As Secretary of HHS, Robert Kennedy will have the power to undercut vaccines and vaccine manufacturing across our country. And for all of his talk about follow the science and his promise that he won't interfere with those of us who want to vaccinate his kids, the bottom line is the same. Kennedy can kill off access to vaccines and make millions of dollars while he does it. Kids might die, but Robert Kennedy can keep cashing in.
Well, isn't that why any of them get into government? This is
and remember, again, he sued as a private citizen and a practicing attorney. He sued to try to get the COVID vaccine that saved God knows how many lives pulled off the shelf.
Right, that's right. And what was
what
his standing?
What a goddamn dirtbag.
They're just, yeah, exactly. Just dirtbags. That's a good word. Yeah. Waste of human DNA. But he like all the lies too. Let's see. Hold on. I have another thing. RFK. This is what the Republicans are really good at in these hearings. They say things, and with a real sense of authority. But it's all bullshit. He claimed that Biden replaced 3,000 people at HHS, like to say that, oh, well, Biden did this. Biden purged these organizations like Trump is doing, firing the inspectors general. And there is absolutely no, that did not happen at all, period, end of sentence. He didn't do that. But there you go. Are maggots going to look that up? Are they going to tell them that on Fox News? They're going to be like, oh, well, Biden did it too. Just like what they did with family separations, right?
Yeah, sure.
Obama did it. Obama was the one who did it. It's not us. The party of personal responsibility. But anyway, it's absolutely incredible. And another thing he said during this confirmation was that there's no... What did he say? That Trump is the best farm president in American history. No other president has ever been as good for the farmers than Trump. And that, of course, is absolutely not true either.
No, I caught that. Yeah, I caught that.
Yeah.
Wasn't there something having to do with soybeans?
Yeah, he put these tariffs.
He crippled the soybean industry.
And then he had to give because all of these soybean farms were going out of they would go out of business. Then he gave them money, right? Like the welfare socialism. He gave them socialism because they were pissed. They're like, and then they did all these, and I have it somewhere, one of these news reports. And they're like, I voted for Trump, and this is it's always like, I voted for Trump, and now I'm fucked, right? But don't worry, he'll come in and with my blue state dollars and give you your socialism.
Right. I mean, this is like going to a snake handling church and being surprised when you get bitten by a nice warmed up rattlesnake.
Exactly, it's true. But he said that he emphasized all the deregulation, just like we were saying, the tariffs that he put on, and farmers. Basically, let's see. Anyway, whatever. I don't want to get into it because we're gonna close up the show here. But this article I'm reading says that the farmers were concerned about Trump's policies. What do you think is going to happen with the new tariffs, with everything that he's doing? It's going to have and it's already having a detrimental effect, but. As far as when we were talking about earlier, him going with these executive orders, stopping the funding, which is unconstitutional. You can't do that. The Huffington Post right now is not loading for some reason, but they're saying that it's been leaked out of the White House for I don't know how. That's probably because they want us to know. Yeah, leaked White House document says that the backlash is the point, that he did this. It's all part of Project 2025. He did it and then rescinded it. Yeah. But they want to take it...
To create the chaos.
And also to create a constitutional challenge. He wants the power to be able to pick and choose which funds and where, don't fuck Congress holding the purse strings and passing laws and designating where our tax dollars get spent. That's the role of Congress. But he wants that in the presidency, and he, according to this article, they're confident that the Supreme Court will side with them. And guess what? We may not be too sure that they won't. I thought, and everybody thought the whole immunity, that's a hands down no-brainer.
Yeah, so was Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. Mm-hmm. Here we are.
Yeah, so that's the point. He wants to get this case to the courts. So
he wants to be a dictator.
Yes.
Because that's whom he admires.
Yes, and we know that, and that's why every maggot.
I want generals like Hitler had.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they got their ass kicked,
and
we didn't even have to drop an atomic bomb on them.
Well, he also, when they tried to explain that some of his generals plotted to kill him a few times, he didn't believe it. Right, so I mean that's how
Operation
ignorant.
Valkyrie.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
That's how ignorant he is. He is a little tin pot, fragile little boy playing with the world. I don't know. But we're allowing it. This is what they wanted. This is what Americans.
And now he has announced. And now he's announced another executive order for the DOD and Homeland Security to build a 30,000 person concentration camp for months.
Oh, good. Wonderful.
At Gub'mnt.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, that's what maggots want. That they love that. They want. See, this is what I always say that.
Yeah, but then maggot dude's Venezuelan wife will wind up there.
Well, I hope she does. Frankly, I really do. But this is what I've been saying. We've been saying it for years, that Republicans are that they lack the fundamental basic decency and many other basic human qualities to function in a free democratic society. They can't stand it, especially one like ours, which is a multiracial, liberal democracy, nation of immigrants. They hate that. They hate decency, as the meme, the sin of empathy. Don't commit the sin of empathy. That's why they're always saying, oh, the adults are in charge. Daddy's home. To what? To harm you, to have no feelings for you, to not give a shit if you starve or go bankrupt or lose your job and have nothing, to fall back on, or kill yourself, or hate your, just have no recourse, not have an ability to live your life authentically. Just daddy's home to what? And that's why they always say that oh, your nanny state, mommy, all this coddling people. It's not coddling. It's called civilization.
I don't want to get too weird about this, but some of this is the fundamental distinction between, oh dear, matriarchal earth goddess stuff.
Well, yeah.
And violent sky daddy stuff.
Yeah, that's why they're all, oh, this is a Roman salute. They all love the whole Roman history, or they're not that intellectually curious enough to actually learn Roman history. It's that, I love Roman history. I love reading about it in context of, our society, but they just like the, the abuse parts. They like the strongman parts. They like the, trampling on whatever the fuck they want to trample on.
Part. Yes. They like the beatings.
That's it. They like the slavery, the power structure.
As long as someone else is getting them.
That's it. That's what they like. They like the blood, the power. They like to, and like we say, this is why they start crying when shit. Oh, wait, what? What? Me? I'm getting hurt here. My job,
right,
and
as we head out the door, I don't know how you feel about it, Tara, but Caroline, the new press secretary.
Oh God, it's
Caroline,
another joke.
Caroline, leave it alone. Jesus Christ. So now she says that because people are catching on, and there's some polling data out there for it, that people are pissed off that the price come down.
Good.
And that there's an actual spike in the egg price.
There is. It's going to get worse too.
Since he took office.
Yep. And so is gas.
Well,
gas.
Now we know why. It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
Of course, it's never.
Caroline, leave it alone. Said it's not Daddy's fault.
Whose fault is it?
Because Joe Biden committed a chicken genocide.
Oh. Of the bird flu? I don't understand.
The Biden administration and the Department of Agriculture directed the mass killing of more than 100 million chickens, which has led to a lack of chicken supply in this country.
Okay.
Therefore, lack of egg supply, which is leading to the shortage.
Okay. Well, I mean, it had nothing to do with bird flu. It was just murder of chickens.
Joe Biden just decided to randomly start offing chickens.
He just did an executive order, kill all the chickens. Okay. Kill all the firstborn chickens.
Kill all the firstborn roosters.
Yes, and give the chicks to RFK so he can blend them up. Fucking prick.
Asshole.
I hate him. Anybody who does that to a chick, how could you take a beautiful little bit innocent, fragile chick and throw it in a blender? You fucking dirtbag. You don't want to talk about dirtbags?
I don't want to go into too much detail, but if you're training a raptor, you're far better off letting the raptor swoop down and grab the chick.
I don't want to talk about it.
Sorry. Okay.
It really upset me. My aunt told me about it, and I'm like, what? I can't. I can't handle it.
But that's the sick bastard that he is, and he's. And I thought of you. I thought of you when he got to this part, because I know how seriously you take your recovery. I've been in recovery for 42 years.
Please give me a break. Prove it. You're a dry drunk. You're a kook. If he's even clean at all. We don't know. How do we know? We got to take his word for it?
Right. Well, I mean,
42 years. He just stopped heroin.
I mean, didn't you hear that?
I didn't hear that part. It might have been when sometimes I had to mute it a little because I couldn't handle it.
He's been in recovery for
42 years. So that's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit.
Well, no. I mean, I'm notorious for how bad my math is, but I'm not gonna rely on my little blonde brain. I'm going to get the calculator out here.
Yeah. What's his age?
So 2025 minus 42
42
equals
years.
1983. 1983. That's how long he's been in recovery.
Oh, he says he's, wait a minute. He was get out of here. I'm reading this. It says that.
When was Bobby?
Yeah, he was a heroin addict for 14 years, according to what I'm reading. And he attends 12-step meetings daily. Bullshit. I highly doubt it. So it says.
Well, that's 1983. And he got popped on a felony heroin charge in South Dakota in 1983. Here's the thing, though. He came down to the Coal River Valley and knocked down some scotch.
Oh, wow.
And some moonshine.
Well, he probably thinks that if he's not doing heroin.
While he was sex pesting on women in the Mountaintop removal movement.
And when I looked it up, there's a Instagram post from something called Sobered Celebrities, and there's a picture of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and he says, and there's a quote, "I've been going to meetings for 40 years, steadily. My life just goes better." And you're telling me that he was pounding down scotch. I'm sorry, Bobby, that's, that counts too. It's... You're not clean. What a liar. Of course he's a liar. Because it's like Elon Musk too. The big he plays this video game, right? He wants to be the video game champion that clearly when he played the video game live and streamed it, those who actually played the game were like, "What are you talking about?" When he claimed he was like in the top 10 gamers of this particular game. What a little tiny little fragile bitch they all are. And they were like, wait a minute, if you're a top 10 player, and he was making the most rudimentary mistakes, and people were, of course, knew right off the bat that he was lying. But anyway, that's who they are. Here we go. I've been going to meetings for 40 years. I've been sober. Maybe you're going to meetings. That doesn't mean you're sober if you're going to meetings. I don't know. I doubt he's going to meetings. But even still, you saw him pound down some scotch and other alcoholic beverages.
That was a big thing. Folks
That's
would come down here and they always want they coming to West Virginia. You got any moonshine?
Oh wow. And he was drinking moonshine. Wow. I'm sure he was drinking on that cruise too. Right. So how dare they? Get the fuck out of here. Everything's a front, right? This is the other thing. Like, just be sober. Just be in recovery. They all got to pretend until they get to their ultimate goal of destroying everything that's good, destroying recovery, destroying people in recovery, destroying people's opportunity to get to recovery, right? Everything that they do, they're fakers. It's just they've got to put on a show, like Traitor Trump sending migrants away in these military planes. It's all this big show, and everything is a performance. Like Trump, he's so strong and he really cares about the American people but the forgotten man will be forgotten no more, while he's stripping the forgotten man and woman of every opportunity.
And you remember how we said earlier that it is a prerequisite in this administration that you have to be some sort of sex pest?
Yes.
Well, let me introduce you to Andrew Kloster.
Oh, no.
He's going to be general counsel to the HR department of the United States government, the Office of Personnel Management.
Oh, Jesus Christ. On a bike. No.
And he's one of these the pals of Leon scum. He has a history of chasing down non-existent voter fraud.
Well, they're really good at going after things that don't happen.
Yeah, things don't go away on the internet. And the Daily Beast got digging around on Kloster and found where he wrote in 2012, consent is probably modern society's most pernicious fetish.
Wow. Wow. No.
Uh-huh.
No, this can't be real.
In 2023, he posted online, "Slaves owe us reparations."
What?
Also in
my.
2023, this creep posted, "I need a woman who looks like she got punched."
Well, there you go. That's what we're saying. They are very sick people. They're very damaged, and they need to get help for their manias, and rather than inflict them on us.
And he self-identifies as a raging misogynist.
And he's going to be our head of personnel.
He's going to be the chief counsel to the Office of Personnel
Oh,
Management.
boy. Well, no DEI, no women getting...
Oh, and going back to Bobby for just a minute, did you notice that he fucked up today?
No. What did he do? Well, I think he's a fuck-up, so...
He said, "We need diversity."
Oh, what? How did he get out of that one?
The digits cruised by, and I mean, I wasn't watching the video, but I can imagine the looks that must have gone around the maggot side of the dais.
Diversity. Well, diversity? How will I ever get ahead if there's diversity and everybody knows how inadequate? Because that's what it is. They need their privilege.
It's
Otherwise,
white male mediocrity.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, and, I love that Trump, that's what Trump said, that we're back to being a meritocracy. Get the fuck out of here. When he's giving his friends, family members, all kinds of jobs in the government, all these horrible people who'll be getting ambassadorships and roles in the government. All you got to do is lick his taint, right? And you could be the most unqualified raging alcoholic, and like Pete Hegseth, who goes to work drunk, who's a rapist, who had already ran two small...
Walking into the Pentagon with a mostly gone fifth of Jack Daniels. I want to be an airborne ranger.
And he promised he won't drink if he gets the job. Sure. And that he, I'm sure I don't want to get into because we'll start a whole new conversation, but what they're doing to General Milley is...
that's disgusting. Yep. And, we have to stand by him.
Yes.
In fact, I had a note from Kevin in Massachusetts to that effect earlier, because they really want him dead.
Yeah.
And that old Marine ain't going to take this lying down, I don't think.
And I hope happens. This is, I'm thinking, where are the other retired officers to come to his defense? Are they cowards? Where are they?
They're afraid that they're afraid they'll have their pensions.
Probably. That's probably it. So this is, authoritarianism.
But there's a little bit of good news.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've been following it, but some of these pardoned J6 domestic terrorists, life after pardon hasn't turned out to be so great.
They're hard. Yeah, they'd be better off institutionalized, really. But.
Well, enter Emily Hernandez of Missouri Stan. She was the one photographed holding a piece of Nancy Pelosi's Speaker of the House sign.
Mm.
And she did 30 days in jail. She got pardoned last week. But before she was supposed to plead guilty, she picked up a DUI.
Of course.
Because she killed someone.
Oh, wow. Poor person. Well...
she was drunk off her ass, driving westbound in the eastbound lane of Interstate 44, and crashed into an SUV, killing 32-year-old Victoria Wilson.
Wow.
She crippled Ryan Wilson.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
According to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Well...
Making the world better for right?
Nitwit Nero can't pardon her now.
Right, wow.
It's a state charge. And she just went up for 17 big ones.
Good. Well, I feel bad for the people she killed and maimed and permanently.
Have you ever been on the highway and seen somebody driving at you the wrong way on a 4-lane?
I have not, thankfully.
I have.
Oh my God, that must be.
It's
terrifying.
Fucking terrifying.
Especially.
I mean, I was blowing the horn because I figured, they're drunk.
Was
and
it
I'm
at
blowing
was
the
it
horn
daytime?
and flashing and no, it was night.
Oh my God.
And she was in the southbound lane of US 19
Wow.
on this side of the New River Gorge. You've been on that highway.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm blowing the horn and I'm flashing my high
Wow,
beams.
wow. That's scary.
And just she just zoomed by me. And I'm not one for dropping the dime.
Holy shit.
But I felt like, ooh,
You
I
have
just survived
to.
something. So I picked up 911 and I called Listen and I said, you know, I'm
Yeah,
at mile
you
marker. I'm
gotta.
at mile marker X, and you got somebody northbound in the southbound lane on 19 north of New River, and she's gonna kill somebody.
Yeah. Do you know what happened?
mean-
You don't.
No, I mean I found out. Yeah, they caught up to her.
So she didn't kill anybody or
Right,
herself.
yeah.
She
Right,
could have killed
yeah.
herself too. Wow,
But
that's
it's
scary.
It's terrifying.
Well, and that's probably the best thing you did for her. If she was drunk, she needs to, you know, maybe that was her wake-up call before she did kill somebody and get her ass into treatment. But as far as this maggot on the loose, this is what they do. You know, we have domestic terrorists now running free, feeling emboldened, and they're not very well people anyway. So they don't make the world better. They're here to take from our society and tear down everything that actually makes America
And give
great.
nothing back.
Yeah, that's all it's about. Selfishness, self-centeredness.
Well, Tara,
yeah.
I absolutely you know I've come to absolutely love these evenings
Me
with
too.
you.
Me
I
too.
do.
Me too.
And one of these days, maybe we'll figure out a way for me to. I'll do a fundraiser or something for the $5,000 or so worth of video equipment that it takes for me to be able to work on this end.
What do you
and
mean?
it would be.
You
well,
have
I've been
video.
looking at. No, not like this. I can't. No, a video mixer that'll. It actually sends to two separate streams from the same device.
What?
No, it's cool as shit.
I don't understand. You just use Restream. I mean,
No,
that's what I use.
No, I mean this is a dedicated box.
Okay.
And you're
we'll
not.
have to
You know,
talk
you're
about
not.
this.
Yeah.
I don't understand what it is. What it does.
It's by Roland.
And what's the point of it though? If you got it, all right, we can talk about it later. I don't understand.
Yeah.
What does it do though? You got a video, and what are you trying to do?
I've just got a camera on an iPad.
Okay. And then what do you
So-
need though? You see my point?
I could do something like what you do.
Oh, you mean like?
I could be sending video out to my own stream.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You could. Yeah, and like
And-
this is just Ecamm. This is Ecamm, and then I use Restream. I mean, you got to pay for it, of course. So that's why I say please become a patron at patreon.com.
And I'm not being rude or anything, but
What?
I am what is referred to in the industry as a gear slut.
Ah. Okay. I just need
and
to
it was-
know what
yeah.
you're talking about, so I can.
Oh, it's got
maybe
audio
better.
input. It's got audio inputs and real camera inputs. You know, HDMI inputs for the camera, audio. You can do like all these clips of Bobby Kennedy. Yeah, all of that.
Okay.
And
All righty. Maybe that's better.
and
I don't know.
Maybe when spring comes around, just get a bulldozer, and for the first time in 21 years, clean this place out. And make it all video friendly and
Yeah,
everything,
that'd
so I
be
can have a
nice.
waving American flag in the background,
Right.
Because you got to have one of those.
Yes. That's what I should do.
But
I should put a set
yeah,
back
you-
here.
Yeah, you got to have an American flag.
I should. Where's
Yeah.
my flag? I gotta get a flag.
Yeah, reclaim the flag.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Well, that's why we say we're the real patriots here. We
We
are.
did it. I mean, the Harris Walls campaign did a pretty good job of that.
Yes.
At the convention,
Right.
They did.
Right.
It just didn't fucking matter.
Right. Well, it was a squeaker, but still, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and I don't know if you saw Greg Palast. He believes that that we won, except for all the voter suppression and that.
Yeah, I saw that, and then there's the technical weirdness of the spikes. Where
Yeah.
she loses in Wisconsin, but Tammy Baldwin and other Democrats win.
Exactly. What the
shit
hell is
doesn't
that?
make
That's bullshit.
sense.
And
Yeah.
well, Greg Palast says, that all of the people that were kicked off the rolls, that they counted in
Yeah,
that.
we talked about that on my program.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. But they were given provisional ballots. I don't understand why these provisional ballots aren't counted. I don't get it. And they just throw these ballots out. They don't count them. Why?
Yeah, when they
How?
canvass, it's like, nah, it's a provisional. Get rid of it.
It's insane. So, anyway, all right. We got to go.
Well, you have a lovely evening.
All right,
it's
honey.
always a joy.
Thank you. I'll talk to you.
And yeah, we'll be talking.
Yeah, we'll be
along.
in touch. We'll be in touch. I'll talk to you.
We'll be in touch. You be in touch.
All right, my friend. All right. I'll see you later, Robyn. And Roxanne, I mean. Whatever.
I
Roxanne, yeah, that's what I say. Robyn, Roxanne,
Yeah.
Robyn. All right,
Robyn
my
rocks.
friend. All right, that's I like that. All right, honey. I'll
Bye.
see you
See ya.
later.
Bye.
Bye. Where's Skype? All right, bye. All right, guys. How the hell you doing? Thank you for sticking around for the show. I hope you like the show. If you can become a patron, this is it. This is the liberal media. I'm getting really irritated by things, so I appreciate your support. I'm having whatever. Maggots are just unbearable. All right, guys, listen, let's get together again on Friday. We'll see. I might have Ron Placone on the show Friday if he's waiting to see if he's going to have to do a set at a local comedy show. A comedy venue. He's on hold, and he'll let us know, and then either this week or next week or another week we'll have Ron on the show. And that's it for now. I gotta go. I feel like just doing nothing right now. I want to put my feet up and pretend that we have a decent president. Wouldn't that be nice? We had an opportunity. God help us all. And we'll talk about, I'm sure we'll talk about, there'll be more to talk about. I was going to talk about General Milley. We'll see. Maybe he'll come up on Friday, because that's just absolutely disgusting what they're doing to him. And shockingly, it's shocking and deplorable. All right, my friends, listen, but we will win. We will win. Why? Eventually, we will win. That's why they have to pretend they're like us, They have to pretend they're like good and decent and doing everything for the betterment of the people, that they care about the price of eggs. Don't worry, your Medicare is safe. They have to act like they give a shit. But their actions speak volumes, clearly in the opposite direction. But we are on the right side of history. And thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News, for keeping the show going and growing. I'm looking for... Wait, where is this? If you can, like and subscribe. Share the show with your friends. You know what I realized was... I just got to share about something quickly, because it's really annoying me. There's a lot of maggots coming to the channel and putting negative... comments on the short videos, and I realized why. Because it was really irritating me. Like, where the fuck are these maggots coming from? And where are all the normal people? That's because this show was being recommended, I believe, to maggots for some reason. And that's why, I don't know, we gotta get the word out there to the normal people, progressive people, and so the show can keep going and growing. All right, that's just my little gripe right now. We'll talk about it more another day. Thank you for listening. Thank you for letting me share. Thank you for your company and your support. It means the world. And thank you, Peter, again, Peter Niles, for your support. He sent a donation through the PayPal link, which is in the description. And yeah, hopefully we just need more patrons, and I don't know. You hear me. I'm a little bit down. It's exhausting. I feel exhausted. So I gotta go get unconscious. What am I gonna do? Maybe I'll watch something on TV. I can't watch any more news. I just gotta rest, hang out, eat something, watch some TV, pretend we're living in a functioning democracy. And I don't know. I'll see you Friday. So listen, we are, we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. Thank you, Jim, for your super chat. Thank you, everyone, for your support, your patronage. We stick together. We win. My name is Tara Devlin, and I will see you on Friday night.